Yo, 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 everyone. Welcome to Knowledge and Relationships Live Talk. This is your boy M3, and I have a cool guest with us tonight. We will be interviewing one of our homies, Mr. AR, okay, from the Womenosphere versus Manosphere,
What's
also
up,
as known as
man?
YouTube Conversations.
That's right, man. Appreciate having me on.
No problem. It's always good to kind of return the favor because you gave me an interview and it was lovely and I appreciate that. So I want to make sure that I do the best, on the behalf of our team to give you the same treatment as well.
Yeah, man, I'm ready. I appreciate it, man.
All right, all right. Now, before we begin, as always, I got to introduce, my one of my co-hosts. He's one of the best among every best. He's also very intellectual around the soapbox. So I gotta bring in none other than Mr. Best in the World 84.
What's
Give
good,
the air
family? What's
horn.
good?
What's up, man?
What's good, y'all? What's good? What's good? Let's get it rocking. Get it
All
rocking.
right, all
Welcome,
right,
AR. Good to see you, brother.
I
I'm free to
appreciate
see
you
you,
having
brother.
me on. Thank you.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
all right. Well, all right. Let's go ahead and get things started. All right. Probably in the later on, folks will show up. I know most of them are are with Arshawn right now, which is good. Now, go ahead and pull up the first question, AR, right? And it's always the most simplest question, but you gotta let our people know. Can you please tell us about yourself? We gotta know who you are in these streets of YouTube.
I get it, man. Yeah. So, basically, just a old dude, old guy, 37 years old. On YouTube, I think I have some stuff to share. Grew up in Brooklyn, New York, transitioned into the Bronx, and learn
Mm-hmm.
why when you're in government assistance they can control where you move to, which is actually a good thing. I'm not gonna lie, but um, you know, grew up in the Bronx for a while, back in Brooklyn, back and forth. Been through quite a bit, and I'm here mostly specialized in actually martial arts and teaching. But I don't know how I can transition that onto YouTube. So uh, mostly speaking about relationships and so forth on YouTube.
Okay, okay. So you was like one of those sensei type of people, doing all the cool martial arts and all,
Yeah,
and
man.
then it just later just brought you into the YouTube world, huh? Talking
Something
about
like that,
relationship.
I'm still active, not as active, but yeah, man. I'm a third degree black belt.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, man.
So, all right. Well, let's get to the black belt stage, right? What got you into like martial arts?
Um, it would have to be, well, I continued it growing up, would have to be depression, but I think you get into it 'cause I see my mom getting beat, and it was something that a lot of the people I grew up with wasn't doing. Everyone was playing basketball.
Mm.
Everyone played basketball. I wanted to be like Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan used to jump around on different stuff.
Yeah, do all kinds of crazy backflips and all.
All kinds of, yep. So I started when I was 8. Yeah, I think I started when I was 8. So what happened with martial arts, unfortunately, it's kind of easy to run through the ranks when you're a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're under 18, you can easily get a black belt. Easily. So if you stick with it, for all those years, uh a lot of the kids don't really know what they're doing, but they still can get a black belt even though they really can't fight. So I'm pretty sure I got my first black belt when I couldn't actually fight. It's different when you're doing all these different kind of moves, but until someone punch you in the face in real life, it's a little different.
Right.
When someone from Brooklyn, right, Mr. Best, punch you in the face from Brooklyn,
Yes, sir.
there's a little ring to it. And
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I would definitely say seeing my mom get beat made me want to learn how to defend myself, and uh definitely had it been just dealing with my, I will say, I think it helped me mentally. It definitely did.
Okay. So then after that, how did how'd you get into like this YouTube space? So basically, what was like your social media journey?
I used to be on Facebook a lot, trolling a lot, trolling a lot, and basically a lot of the stuff I was saying 5 to 10 years ago is basically what everyone's arguing about now. But at that time, they were saying, "I don't want to be political. I don't want to talk about politics." But now everyone's kind of talking about it. Um, but I didn't get into YouTube until I always been a consumer, right? I think what made me go on YouTube was it had to been Kevin Samuels, average at best, and another content creator. Let's talk with Miss Mo. She's been on my channel recently, and when I seen some of her videos like 2 years ago, it made me want to do YouTube. I just recently started.
Okay. And then from that point on, like, how did you create, like, because I'm assuming that YouTube conversations came in first before the Womenosphere, and then later on the Womenosphere versus the Manosphere.
I think they was created around the same time, other channels as well, but I think
Okay.
I put more effort into the YouTube conversations first. And
Mm.
I definitely got inspired by Vlad TV.
Yeah. I remember because I was saying, like, man, it was something about that dude, man. I was like, you give me Vlad TV vibes. I remember when I first and it's weird, like, I think I know it has something to do with Instagram, and then I checked out like your content, and then it was a Latin woman who you had gave an interview. I can't even pronounce her name, Ishmael, something like that. And that's when I first started checking out your content. I was like, oh dang, like the quality is good. Like, I mean, at that time, I didn't even know who the hell you were. I just heard like a voice, that sounded like Vlad TV, and then I just just started seeing people like like her, Lucky Marie, and a few other people, right, well-known people, just started speaking, and I was like, okay, this man's interview game is up to par. So, man, I gotta check this guy out. And then
Yeah,
you start coming around. Yeah.
I've been doing interviews for probably about 11 years, but I don't own the intellectual properties of it. So I can't even post all that work I've done before. Can't post
Right.
it. So that made me that's another reason why I started my own. And I actually have I have well over 60 interviews I haven't posted on that channel because the attraction wasn't up yet. So I just decided, okay, I want to be with that channel. What I want to do is interview probably all the content creators that's like over 500 subscribers. I feel like if you have over 500 subscribers, you've been consistent for at least a year, 6 months or a year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want to interview you and then you just disappear. Then what was the point of me interviewing? So
Yeah.
I basically wanted to try to interview all content creators that you could possibly think of. And I kind of took a step back from that, stopped uploading. I'm gonna wait until probably August and just trying to work on one platform at a time.
I got you. Now, before we begin, the next question, I gotta give a shout outs to some of the people that's in the chat. So she stole my thunder, as always. Play the theme music.
What's going on? She stole my thunder. Hey, what's up, family?
She says, "Hello, everyone. Just here as Christmas decoration. Just here to be seen for a while. Then go by New York. Sorry, then go by New Year's. But love and shout out to the host and the panelists. And much love to you as well." She stole my thunder. Thank you for
She's
tuning
like,
in.
hello, everyone.
Yes. And then we got Roberto. So salute. Okay. Thank you
Salute to
for tuning
Roberto. What's
in.
going on, brother?
What's up,
He says,
Roberto?
what's up, fellas? If you guys are new to Nourishing Relationships, please, give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
And then we also have Arshawn Dave with the triple peace signs. You know what I mean?
What's going on, Sean?
Yeah. What's up, Arshawn? Good to see you up in here. All right. Mr. Best in the World.
Mm-hmm.
You have any questions, any thoughts, anything you want to say?
No, let's keep rolling, man. We here. Let's go.
All right, man. All right. So let's go ahead to number 3. All right. What are your interests and hobbies? Now I know you mentioned about like martial arts. So, but can martial arts was martial arts to you like started as a more like a hobby, or was it something that you wanted to kind of develop like a lot more? I don't know, expand a little bit more in the future at that time. I mean, I know that was one of your main interests to like get into it, but you know what I mean?
Yeah, it was martial arts, or then I shifted over to boxing. Something I wanted to really do big. I think that when you go through things in life and also have some injuries, it kind of messed me
Hmm.
up. And then you just take more time off than you anticipated. And but I plan on doing something a little more with that. Get into shape and trying to start some shit with some YouTubers and put some
Hmm.
money up. And but the YouTubers that actually want to get in a boxing ring and fight, not just
Right.
senseless talking bad about each other. But I plan on starting some shit a little later on, but a little more organized. Where behind scenes I'm speaking to them, so that
Hmm.
it's not like but we gotta get in that ring, and some people gotta get their shit knocked off. So, but yeah, martial arts is definitely something I wanted to pursue. And actually, when I was a kid, I wanted to play video games as a I guess like as a career. But at that
Hmm.
time in the 90s, I didn't know that was something real. But now that we know, there's people who play video game, they win prize 125,000, 50. They get paid quarterly a lot of money.
Yeah. Shoot, you could be like if you have like a lot of sponsorships, especially the right ones. I mean, you could be from a thousandaire to a millionaire just by like playing like esports games and all.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to get into that field like way back, but it takes a lot of mental fortitude, a lot of dedication and skills, like to like get up to the highest rank.
Well,
And
I think
Mhm,
also, sorry to interrupt. I think what it really
mhm,
takes is for parents to, um, especially single parents, stop reproducing as much to pay attention to the kids that you currently have. And I think that's the people that was older than me. That was their job to see that I get into that stuff. You
yeah.
know. But yeah, man, I wish that I had someone that would pursue to push. But we're here now, right? So, but it's definitely irresponsible for a single mother to have more children than she could bear.
Mm, okay, okay. So, all right, let's talk more about like um, the single motherhood. Before we even get to the nitty gritty questions. Now, you know, on your platforms, like I know you talk about like the bastard kids, the single mother life, and all. Um, what what is the reason behind it? You know, is it something that is projected from maybe you don't have to say, but is it more of like from a personal life, or is it something that you just see like in the community a lot, and you just like man, you know what, forget it, I'm tired, you know, like we need to address this. And salutes to Saida as well. Thank you for joining into the panel. Well, not
With the
panel, but to
Saida.
the chat. And we have Real Talk with Music Limbs. Hey, hey, y'all.
What's good,
Backs
Lindsay?
to you.
Yeah, man, these bastards got they got to be them and their mamas got to go, man. I think that really what it is that when I call them a bastard, people say, "Oh, that's not the definition." But I just told you this bastard shot someone in the head, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's very rare someone will bring up, damn, oh wow, that happened. They don't even talk about that. And I'm not just speaking from what I saw in the news. This is stuff that's happened in my area, right? Like I did a live stream a few weeks ago, and as I think Arshawn says I manifested them to come. He was breaking in my car as I'm talking on the stream about these bastards. So I think the real issue is that if I say that really triggers you, okay, great. Now I got your attention. What about the action that these kids are doing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it's so much from a personal standpoint. I think it is personal because the way I look at it is that we complain when the cops go out there and do their job, right? You have this guy, just an example, he's out there, he's trying to rob a car, shooting at the cops grab him, throw him against the floor, the wall, which is his job. He definitely should do that, bang his head on the floor. So, but when the
Mm-hmm.
cops go out there to do their job, not saying that all cops do great things, right? But when
Okay.
the cops go out there and do their job, that could have been avoided. A lot of stuff that happens could have definitely been avoided, and I feel like these kids are not being protected.
Oh, okay. And yeah, I definitely agree with you on that part, especially when there's like a lack of care in the community, and you know, just just I would say maybe poor funding or poor. I don't even like to even use the word training because I feel like when you become a person, right, that makes a vow to like really serve the community, like you should have a purpose of really doing what you're committed to do, of that promise that you're trying to keep. And if you're not really upholding it, then what's your true intention anyway? Which it goes to like, properly vetting the people who you're bringing into the field. Same thing, if we're talking about relationships, we need to properly vet these people out. If you don't want to have, these quote unquote bastard children, you got to make sure that, the mother doesn't really have that type of, is it the bastard mentality? I don't know how you want to call it, but you got to properly vet that woman out because she probably came in as a bastard, So, it's all about the vetting process.
But the issue, M3, is that the woman that's having these children that's like this, the man that's not around, he's not vetting. Listen, he ain't paying no child support. He's not around. He's not vetting these women. Right? These type of men are not vetting. They don't care about the vetting process. They're not trying to find a good woman. As a matter of fact, they want a ratchet bad woman because that's probably the only type of female they can get. You get what I'm trying to say? They can't get the good woman. So I hear all the time on my channel, AR, why don't you hold those men accountable? Because he didn't do the R word to her. It was volunteer. What am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to go down there and grab his, and stop him from inserting? No, y'all two came together consensual, and y'all came together now, which is something that I don't care about. What I care about is that now you brought a child in this world, and now that child's fucking with me or my family. I never want to hear on the news. I'm sitting doing the stream, and I find out something happened to my mom due to what these teenagers that's running wild doing crazy thing. I don't think the cops are hard enough on the kids. I would love for them to be like, or even adults. I would love for the cops to be rough. Slam them against them. Yeah, do it. Slam it. Because there's a lot of, even like today, I just had literally 3 blocks from me, right? I'm in Queens. 3 blocks from me, upon a store, a teenager shot the guy in the head.
Oh, wow.
Three blocks from me, and he's an elderly, like 60 years old. And I don't know him personally, but I know when I go over there and I see him, he's outside and stuff like that, shot in the head. He's at work. So he's at work and he got punished for being at work by a teenager. The kid that was breaking in my car. He's a teenager. I should have blew his head off.
Well, I mean that's definitely sad and it's really heartbreaking. But then,
also, I'm sorry. One more thing I want to say too. I think that I think that the reason why a lot of these teenagers, well, not all, but a good amount of them are outside doing these things because it's better for them to be around their friends doing this craziness than being home molested by their stepfather. It doesn't matter how big the kid is. There's a lot of things going on in the home. Cause why a kid don't want to be home eating their mother's food? When I was a teenager, I love to come home and eat my mother's food and head back out. But these teenagers don't want to be home, and they're not home for days at a time. I've been working at my church, volunteering for 12 years. The past 12 years, and I deal with these teenagers, and it's like their household is horrible. It's horrible. So a lot of the time they don't want to be home because there's all these different. So when you start putting pressure on the parents, got to be held accountable. You start to find out that maybe the mother did make a police report missing. Her son is not home for 3 days. She did, but guess what happens? These teenagers, they have more rights than their parents. By law, you cannot hit your child. If your child says, F you, B, you can't slap them in public. ACS will get involved. You can't do that. You can't turn off their phone. You can't take their phone. you can't even ask for their password to look through their phone, bro. You get arrested for that. So when we start putting pressure on, it's the parents' responsibility. We start to find out who's doing the right thing, who's not, because the parents that's doing the right thing, you're gonna see proof that she is doing what she has to do. He's just a badass. He's just he's being enabled by the law. They're allowing them to go free, so that's my rant.
So when it comes down to it, it's basically like it's the system that's really failing because I'm for sure ain't no. I mean, the majority of parents, who's raising their kids, I'm for sure they want them to be the best that they can. But then when you have society, when you have the system, and you have all these things that is pretty much giving these kids so much rights to do whatever they want to do, then they feel like they're invincible.
Well, I
Now,
think what happened is that the parents allow the kids to get out of hand, and now they're trying to get a hold of them. When you're not there for your kid, or you're there, you're working, you're doing whatever you gotta do. Now the kid's like, as soon as the kid reaches, I mean, this 11 and 12-year-olds, now you want to try to be more constraint and strict on the parent, but on the child, but at that time, the kids, the teenager kids don't want to listen. A lot of these 304s are on top of look at these 304 behaviors, right? Most of them have kids, so you think their kids have a lot of black children currently have a low reading level across the country.
okay, say that last part again.
I said across the country, a lot, especially in Baltimore and urban cities, black children have a below average reading level.
Oh
Which
wow,
average is like what, 70, 75, 70, right? Something like that. And they
something
have
like that. Yeah.
below that.
Hold on, before I get to that, I gotta give a shout outs to Moments with Mickey Red. Thank you
Mickey
for
Red, what's
tuning
up?
in. Don't forget, ladies, to get the likes up as well. All right. Okay, actually, I see a like up. There we go.
Oh yeah,
All
shout out to
right.
Big Rig Slaps too. I see him in the building too. What up, Big Rig Slaps?
Yes,
Let me
definitely.
say
So salute.
let me
Go ahead,
say this.
Mr.
I
Bliss.
think that I think it's a I think it's a systematic problem, and it's been that way for forever when it comes to our people and our living conditions. Um, all the way back from slavery to the civil rights to beyond, segregation, all that. So I think, with that being said, um, we have to understand systematically the things that have been put against us and things that do hold us back. Because I do believe there are some great parents out there who live in these, poverty communities who are doing the best they can, but they can only do but so much. Okay, I could drop them off at school, but now I got to work. Okay, and if it's a single parent home, you know what I'm saying? Then it's all but so much they can do. So they got to work. Then after I get out of work, you know what I mean. Hopefully, I have somebody that's babysitting, or I have a place for my child to go once they get out of school. You know what I'm saying? So it's twofold. I think that um, a lot of times we are not making the best decisions because if you look at our communities, we are not taught. You know what I'm saying? Different things. You know what I'm saying? We are not taught, you know what I mean, how to have a better education. We are not taught a good family structure. These different things are not implanted within our community or within our culture in a lot of these urban communities. So with that being said, that's why you see, the low in education. That's why you see the job loss because when you look around, you know what I mean, it's like where are the jobs? Where are the opportunities? Where are the factories? Where this, where that? You know what I'm saying? And I do believe that, you know, there are a lot of people, you know, who do. If you're looking to become Canadian, please do not hit the like. Oh man. Thank you. She stole my thunder. Thank you. Um. So yeah, I do think there are those who are trying, because the ones who are reckless and just don't care. I think the laws of the land. Um. I think the laws of the land definitely have to do their job. But I don't want it to be police brutality. I don't want that. I don't want it to be extreme. You know what I mean? I'd rather it be where, because there's a reason why these people are out here doing this. You know what I mean? Nobody's just out here doing anything crazy. You know what I mean? Just because they want to. You know what I mean? Like, I live in a pretty affluent community. And when I see the kids and I see why they are behaved, I see their family structure. I see that the parents are there. I see that, you know what I mean, that they're taking the places, that they're experiencing a certain type of lifestyle. I see the clothes that they wear. I see how they walk. And it's so much different than what happens in the urban communities and what happens in my community. Like it's like night and day. Like the kids are structured. They walk in a line. Like it's completely different. You know what I'm saying? Like the teenagers I see out here in my community are just vastly different. And I'm like, you know what I mean? I see the whole, caravan of cars coming to pick up their children. And I mean, some of these are teenagers. I mean, these are not like little kids. Some of these are like teenagers. Like they're like 15, 16, 17. You can see the caravan coming where so much traffic, we could barely get down our street. But they'll come and they're picking up their kids. They're doing different events. Doing different sporting events. And I'm seeing this and I'm like, damn, like, this is crazy. And then, dude, if y'all seen like the football and the track field that they got at the school, it's crazy. Like this thing is like damn near the size of a professional football field or a track field. Like it's crazy. So when I see the structure that an affluent community has in their school system and just the structure in that community as a whole, then when I look at the neighborhoods that are urban communities that are impoverished, it's night and day, man. It ain't even close. You know what I'm saying? It ain't even close. When I look at my school, the school I grew up with, to that school, night and day. Not even close. Not even close. Even the nicest schools, even Brooklyn Tech, they don't even have no football, field or no track field like that. Like even the so called, great schools within New York, what I mean, or within Brooklyn, aren't built like that. So I think it's also, the money, the funding that the system is not implementing into the school structure for the kids. So a shout out to BBE Forever, like it's somebody new. You know what I mean? Thank you for joining another relationship experience, man. Like and subscribe. You know what I mean? Yeah.
One thing I want to say about it is that the system that we're talking about is the democratic system, right? Because they run and control the urban communities. Not sure
Mhm.
why people keep voting for them and then blame Republicans, even though they're not in charge of those areas. But I think the police need to be a lot more rough, man. I don't support police brutality, but I do support police doing their job. And I think that because of everything is supposedly racism, the system is going to do what they need to do, right? Which is ran by predominantly Democrats, which is the issue. So we get that they're not gonna do what's right. They're stealing funding from school systems and so forth. But the big problem is really just the children. Like I don't blame different areas of different cultures having better schools and so forth, because us as black people, why is it that we go in our buildings just piss in the elevators, just piss in the hallway? People are, having Rottweilers, even though that dogs are not allowed in certain buildings and so forth. Um, I think it's a really a problematic thing. I don't believe black people at this current time should be smoking or drinking. I think we need a lot of our minds need to be a lot more sober, but I definitely support the police being a little more, extremely more rough on the stuff that's happening. I do believe that in the jail systems, we do need longer sentencing and for people not to be allowed out that cause that's doing like really physical violence, right? We know theft is bad as well, but physical violence, we had a guy in Yonkers punch a lady in the head 125 times. Now, because he's black, it doesn't really make the news. Because right now, if you're black people being awarded to do bad behavior, So, but I support the cops, and not every cop is good, of course, but they deal with a lot of BS, and you know, I think they should be a lot more rough.
Are you saying that they should be more rough on like gang members or just on the black kids as a whole?
Whoever's people that's committed physical crime, selling drugs. I don't think they're hard enough on them.
Mm.
You know, physical
I,
violence.
yeah, I will say this though. The reason why I say it's
Mhm.
systematic is because if I create a system of chaos and then you are living in that's created for you, then chaos it will breed. You know what I mean? Whatever seeds you plant is most of the time is going to grow. There will be a time where if you plant a bad seed, there may be things that could grow somewhat good, but for the most part, it's not going to be good. So I think that because because those bad elements are already planted in those communities, you know what I mean, where they don't have the proper funding, they don't have the proper books, they don't have the proper, resources and different things that are there already in the communities. I think that's what creates the atmosphere. When you have a community that's affluent, you know what I'm saying, and opportunities are there, you have better food, you have better books, better libraries. You know, what I mean, you actually have a good banking systems that are near you. You have a lot of resources and tools that are at your disposal. It makes a ton of a difference. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's not even close. Like I said, you know,
But when they try to put good things in these urban areas, it gets tore up. So the main issue really is bad parenting. You know, um, we understand what happened before. If you have 3 to 4 kids, okay, they're already here. But moving forward, you don't have to keep being with Tyrone that just robbed somebody. You know, but a lot of time they with those kind of people, men, because they're the same. They're the same as well. But mainly, what it is not the government. It's the household, because in New York City, even the delivery workers don't want to work, because the delivery workers, when they tie their bikes and shit stuff, they come back out, they don't have a bike, or they're being robbed. So a lot of this is not the government. It's lack of character, and
it's
lack of
I
character
would
comes from the
I
parent
would I
household.
would I would say it's twofold. I would say yes. The lack of character does count. You know what I mean? But I also say that it's also, what I'm saying, like I said, it's the resources and it's the things that are put around you. And I'm speaking because I live in an affluent community and I also grew up in Brownsville. So I've seen on both sides and it's night and day. It's not even close.
But in
It's
Brownsville, who's committing the crime? The white people or the police? Or
well, no, we're not white people are not in our communities though, like that.
I
So
don't blame them.
no, they're not. That's not a community that they are in, and
Yeah,
that's
sure.
and that's a community that they're going to be a part of. A lot of them, because a lot of them, they come from backgrounds that are a little bit more affluent. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
like I said, when I see the difference in the communities, like I said, it's night and day. It's not even close. She
So
stole my thunder. Go ahead, brother.
no, okay. I was going to address that. Yeah, you can read it.
Oh, she stole my thunder has a question. If your child was caught doing a physical crime, would you still support police being tougher on the accused?
Yeah, I think they should bash their head against the wall. I don't, okay, if they don't do it, I'm probably gonna do it myself. When I say physical crime, I'm not talking about stealing a car. I'm talking about, like, harming. Well, even with that, but I'm talking about harming the elderly. Harming people, kids, and yeah, I think you should. If you catch them in the act, I think you need to, do whatever you got to do physically to stop them from doing that. I support that.
Okay, she said, just a pushback question. I had no ill will towards you at AR. Okay,
No, I
all
get it.
right,
I
all
know,
right.
but this stuff is Mr. Best. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm pretty sure M3 as well. But it's it's out of control. The parents are not going to do it. The way I look at it is that if the kids are out there doing this, and the adults as well, we can't get mad when the law enforcement, they use too much force. You shouldn't be stealing. You have, like, you shouldn't have been robbing that person. You have a gun on you. I'm not talking about the innocent people. Like, I wish we brought back stop and frisk in New York. That will stop a lot of the crime. But I'm not in that position to do that.
Yeah, I wish, like, in a perfect world where anything could just be balanced, because the thing is, what happens is that, like, what we see on the media is that we see, like, the bad side of law enforcement, where innocent people are being abused and they're flexing the power. But then we also see on the media that some of these assholes, they run around and then they cause terror to other people, and it just feels like, damn, no justice has been deserved. But then yet we talk about, well, let's defund the police. You know what I mean? Like, it's not about, like, just law enforcement. It's about, well, let's go ahead and build a community. Let's go ahead and have a community where we have people that is not afraid to report things whatever they see. Because, see, the thing is, if you're the main person that's talking about defund something, but then yet you see something that's going on and you don't do anything, and your little code of method is like, well, you know, I didn't see anything. snitches get stitches type of mentality, this is the reason why, you know, crime is up. And then you have people that steps in because mommy and daddy is not really doing the job that they're supposed to, or the community is not really doing the job to help build these people up. You got to have a strong community, man. And if that community is not strong, there's going to be consequences. So the more we're talking about this, the more I'm understanding where you come from, Ar.
Yeah, yeah. Now I'm not talking about people that's committing crime that doesn't cause physical violence, right?
Yeah, we're
Drug
talking about the
dealing is
ones
that
who
as
are.
well. Yeah,
Mhm.
drug dealing, hard drugs, um, physical violence against. I mean, just today, the elderly was walking across the street and a guy went up to him and banged him in the head in front of everyone. This is like 34th Street, and so
Yeah.
yeah, man. But I
Hmm.
definitely,
Hold on, real
suggest that.
quick. I do got to give a shout outs to Mr. Real Estate, well, who's also as known as Who Watches the Watchmen. So, and he also has a secondary channel too, that's called Mr. Real Estate. So he talks about real estate, finances and homes and all that. So definitely check his YouTube channel out as well.
Shout out to Mr. Real Estate.
You know, um, yeah. So let's go ahead, man. Like this is getting good. So people who are tuning in, don't forget to get the likes up. Thank you for tuning in to subscribe to Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube. And also, as a side note, stay tuned for a double feature live at 7 o'clock Pacific time, which will be 8, 9, 10 o'clock Eastern time. All right. So we're gonna get to the fun questions. All right. Now, AR, do you believe, all right, that women should be submissive to men? I feel like you're gonna give us an obvious answer, but you know, if you want to kind of dig deep into that, be all philosophical with it, by all means, feel free to do so.
Yeah, I don't want my wife submitting to anyone but me. But I also believe that the conversation is great to have, but I don't believe
Mhm.
it's something that I need to discuss. If I have to discuss this with her, I made the mistake of marrying the wrong person because like I just don't when it comes to the other person, I really don't tell her anything what she needs to do or what she better start doing. I just expect that to be I'm talking about basic being submissive is I think it's a basic thing, right? For your husband, for your spouse. But should women be
Mhm.
submissive to men? I mean, she better not submit, I don't like that she has a boss to tell her she can take a lunch break. So
Mhm.
I don't like that. But um should women be submissive to men? No, I don't believe so. I don't believe so. Unless it's your spouse. If it's not your spouse, uh no, I don't think she has to listen to other men unless they're in authority or your job. But other than that, no, man.
Well, yeah, I mean, I want like just some woman to be randomly submissive to like any type of man, and even if it's like the man like that's like in your own household, you know, I would say that men has to kind of earn that right for that woman to be submissive to him. You can't just submit to somebody that's going to beat you upside the head or dog you out.
But listen, there was a good amount of time, right? We've been together for 6 years, 7 years, but we married for 6. But there was a good hour, a
Mhm.
year and a half that I didn't earn the right of submission. I was just, I wasn't that great of a husband, So, but she was still submissive to me during that time. She had an attitude a lot, but she was still allowing me to lead. Even when I wasn't leading. So I mean,
Mm.
but that's what I'm saying. These are things that you can't explain. You can't sit down and have a conversation with her about because of how do you have a conversation with? I mean, I think this should come from her parents or maybe take a class, a course before we get married. But I can't tell a woman
Mm.
she needs you better be. It sounds weird. You need to be submissive to her. It's like she was already supposed to be
So,
doing that.
but see, not a lot of women. Well, and here's the thing, and I guess like it does come with the vetting process because you want to have time with a woman who hasn't grown up with both parents, or maybe her dad was beta or whatever, and the mom was like an alpha woman, so she ran the household, and that's all she knows how to do is just be like a masculine type. Well, I'll just say like take the seed from the mom and stuff from the dad. So, but there has to be some line of communication. So then, you know, your before your wife or spouse or whatever into the relationship, she has to know like where you stand. I don't think you have to use the term like, look, bitch, like you need to submit to me, but there gotta be some line of communication that's like, hey, these are my red flags. These are the things that make me happy, or make me feel appreciated. Do you agree, or do you just feel like, well, shoot, I'm coming to a relationship. You should already know what to do. Know your role, make the sandwich, and shut up.
Um,
Is that how you go?
no, no, definitely not, definitely not like that. But um, I've never spoken to what she needs to be doing.
Okay.
We spoke about it, like what's
Mm-hmm.
our roles and so forth, like that. But um, it's very rare I tell her what she needs to do because I've just learned in my previous relationships it just hasn't went well when I tell a woman what she needs. Now, for whatever reason, if she's getting out of line or I don't know something like that, then of course, then okay, fuck all that. We need to sit down and talk, and
Mm-hmm.
that's different. But as far as what she needs to do, I think what needs to happen is that if you're taking the relationship serious, you can have that talk. But I think even with her, she don't have to tell me because I've learned her. Even in the beginning, I think it's important to learn each other and speak a lot, open conversation, be honest with each other. And it's important to see premarital counseling. I think everyone 90 days dating, you should be seeing premarital counseling. That's not from your church, someone you don't know, and not a female. Go see a man for premarital
Mm-hmm.
counseling, you know. And the reason why I say not in your church because I mean, naturally people are gonna favor people, or maybe they just
Mm-hmm.
want you to get married, so they're gonna make it seem like you're the perfect couple. Your pastors
Mm-hmm.
love you, right? Love both. So I think you gotta see someone. Within 90 days, 60 or 90 days, if you're serious about each other, I definitely suggest premarital counseling, and that person will definitely bring that attention.
Okay, okay, that's what's up. Now, I want to kind of get into like like Mansfield type of questions because I mean your whole show is Manosphere versus the Manosphere. Now, how did you get involved into the Manosphere space?
As far as the Manosphere, I've always listened. I think when I had a real big, not a real big, but I had like a breakup, and I was just like, damn, that was fucked up. And you just started looking up stuff, and I came across other guys. They were using words like beta. At that time, I didn't know what that was. I was just like, okay, I don't want to be a beta.
Beta, yeah.
Beta. Satan is your daddy, right? But
Hmm.
so but it just started the things that they were saying, right? At that time, the things that they were saying was like, damn, ghosting is really messed up, you know? Um being late on a date, that's really messed up. Just a lot about I think a lot of the first three dates, I think a lot of guys get played on. Guys play women as well, but from my experience, the first three dates are not handled well, and it could hurt. Even sometimes men would do things like I've done things in my prior relationship that probably make her want to ghost me because I was fucking annoying, calling her, texting her too much. You're not answering. So I get it. So when I started to look these things up, a lot of stuff just aligned with what I was thinking already.
Hmm. I could definitely relate to you because there were some things that like speculations that I had, but it never was appeared to be clear to me. Um, of female nature, how like certain women operate. It's like you just get that gut feeling, like, hey, like, well, I feel like if I call her too much, like I'm gonna be annoying, like a nuisance. So let me back off. Like I played like the safe route for a little bit. You know what I mean? Um, you know, women like being late or like on dates or just like not showing up at all. Like, like this was starting to become new to me. So I was like, dang, like, even like when it comes to like serious like discussions or like work related stuff, it's like you're flaking and then you think it's okay to flake but then if I do that, then it's like all hell breaks loose. So then it was like, what the hell is going on? Like you could do that, but then I can't do that. And then I think once I started to understand, and I'm gonna give a shout out to AMS, Alpha Male Strategies. You know, um, like to me, like that was like the grandfather of all like teachings, right? Like as far as like learning the basics. When I started learning about that, I was like, oh, everything just started clicking. Like I feel like I was having flashes after flashes of things that I had screwed up in the past, you know, things that I wasn't really aware of. And then once it made sense, well, of course, you have your red pill rage, but once you detox yourself, you start to kind of appreciate the female nature. I mean, it could be annoying, but once you have the tools to understand who they are, you learn not to take them seriously, basically. And then you just focus on, developing your own personal growth so that you could become a better man yourself. And it's funny, like, and I could probably say this. Unfortunately, women are a walking contradiction. You know, this is no shade or whatever, right? But this is the truth. The reason why I say this is because you can you say what you want about, oh well, I want these men to start talking good about women, and then you start talking good, saying all these like symbologies and singing and giving them roses and love letters, and then they don't appreciate that. So it's it's funny how it works. When you focus on yourself, they'll naturally draw into you.
I mean,
Not
you hear
all of
that
them.
all the time on my channel, right? You hear all the time on my
Oh,
channel. If you watch it, when the ladies are there on the panel,
mm-hmm.
they say something and then they
Salutes, pops.
contradict themselves and go back and forth. And yeah, man, it could be a little, little headache on there.
Right, right.
I hear a lot of unfairness when the ladies on the panel. I hear a lot of unfair, and they don't. They're happy with the unfairness, you know. So
You said they're happy with the unfairness that they
they're
hear.
happy. Women want to be
Mm-hmm.
equal to men, but they don't want
Mm-hmm.
men to be equal to them, right?
Mm.
They want it to be one way. Like even with a cancel thing with a child,
Mm-hmm.
they want to have the right to control that, but give the man the right to walk away or to tell you he needs to do that. They don't like that. I think
Okay.
the male birth control is going to cause a lot of issues with that. That's going to be my body, my choice, right? The male birth control. And I
Yeah.
think they're going to have an issue with that because men don't want to particularly have kids for a while.
Okay. Okay. It's only when it starts to affect them in a certain type of way. Let's just say like feminism. Women want so much equal rights when it benefits them, but let's say when a man is competing in a woman's sport, all you gotta do is just wear a wig and be like, "Hey, call me Susie."
Until Mike
And that,
Tyson wants to join the females boxing. Then we go, but that I even brought that up on
oh
my
man,
channel. Why the women are not speaking out against that? You know what I'm saying? And they say, oh, because of my job. Oh, but you're speaking out against men. If a man says anything, y'all be ready to cancel him and call his job and get him fired. But what about what's currently happening? So I think that it's crazy how men could be women,
yeah,
dominate the
just like
sport, get the
NTR get canceled.
scholarships, and they
Hmm.
quiet. Is there any outrage from the females?
No, 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 no.
Do you see any posting about from all the men are complaining about it, but the females are quiet?
Likewise, walking contradiction, right? All right, AR. So let's go ahead to the next question. What is some advice that you will give men about women and vice versa? And by me, vice versa is that, what advice would you give women about men? But let's start off with the advice to give men about women first.
In a dating sense, or just in general?
Could be in general, could be about dating, whatever knowledge you have packing.
As far as in dating, the advice I would give to men is that only go out with a woman that's interested in you on a scale of 1 to 10. Interest level, not see people say that they think I'm talking about looks.
Mm-hmm.
Interest level between a 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, at 8 or 10. Only go out with a woman that's interested in you from an 8. Doesn't matter if you want to be serious, if you just want to F around, whatever the case would be, especially if you want to be serious, 8 to
Mm-hmm.
10. And you'll never feel like a woman use you for a meal. You'll always have fun. Even if you don't get none, you'll
Mm-hmm.
still have a good time.
Okay. Have a woman find you as an 8 to 10.
Yo,
You
man.
know,
A lot of times she'll even pay for the day, bro.
man.
Not saying that's the
Now,
goal, but I'm just saying, like,
right,
yeah,
right.
you'll
But if a
never have
woman
that
does
ghosting
offer,
stuff happen.
but if a woman does offer to pay the date, will you accept it?
Yeah, they've done that. Oh, let me pay. Okay, and I just said, okay. They didn't have
Okay,
like the
okay.
face like like they're upset. Yeah, pay for it.
man, you pissing off a lot of white knights, man.
Yeah,
They're
man.
gonna be
I mean,
putting
they
their
just
kids like
understand
what?
that when I say something, I'm serious about it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Now,
hey,
my
look.
advice to women: hey,
Mhm.
stop opening your legs to these bum. You know what? A lot of females have the opportunity to get pregnant by successful men, but they
Mhm.
choose these pookies and Ray Rays.
Hmm.
You can't even get child support. Most you can get is a Coke 45, some weed, you know. But I would definitely say, be careful, be mindful of who you open your legs to. Do some woman when you go on your first date, before you go on the first date, do a background check on him. Full background check. Pay the $10, whatever it costs, full background check. You shouldn't be on the fifth date, find out he's a pedophile and you have a child at home and you gotta have this awkward conversation that someone you like. No. First date, man. Protect yourself.
And I would like to add too, listen to your fathers as well. If you have really good, strong fathers, and that guy is telling you, look, something about that young man I don't really like or trust, take heed into that. Some people will be like, man, you don't control my life, and they'll try to shame you for that. But no, sometimes like your parents can be your best advisors. Not always, but some.
Mm,
Mr. Best in the world, what you
yeah,
think?
let me speak to that. One,
Mm-hmm.
listen, I'm gonna just be completely transparent. You know what I mean? You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to do background checks on somebody. The thing is this: a lot of times we want something that we know is not right for us. We know. You know that there's something fishy about this guy. You feel it. You know it. But you know what I mean? You liking what he looked like. You liking his swag. You liking his cologne or his jewelry, or liking the fact that you think he's cool, or other guys fear him or whatever. So you get excuse me, you get turned on by the mystique of this man, right? It happens to men too. Okay, you see a chick and you like, man, yeah, I know she for the streets, man. I know she done mess with probably this guy, that guy. I done heard about her, but man, you see that thing on her? You see that? Man, that's what I want. You know what I'm saying? So when those things happen, excuse me, y'all. When those things happen, we end up in situations where we know that that person ain't right for us. We know that, you know what I mean, she when you text her, she ain't really text you back, and it took her 2 3 days to text you back, and she has some lame excuse. You know that when you called him, you heard another chick in the background. You know, you know what I'm saying. You know that when he's saying he gonna be at work at such and such time, and then you really check and he ain't really there, but he at home, and then you're like, oh, what? I thought you had to work. Well, the boss called me. Like, you can find, it's so easy, man. It's not even hard, bro. It's so easy. The person who is doing these shenanigans, man, they showing you. But like I said, a lot of times, you know what I mean, you want somebody so bad, you're so desperate, you know what I mean, you just start selling. You know what I mean? Because the thing is, the only thing you gotta really ask them, just ask them about themselves, and then you can just see how the trail of lies and BS just add up. You know what I'm saying? It just adds up. Because they'll tell you, okay, well, well, listen, I'm a police officer. Okay, you're a police officer. Okay, cool. So what district you work in? I work in this district. All right, cool. So, what's your protocol? What's this? What's that? And then as he's talking, or this person's talking, you start to see, oh, they're not really. That's not really factual. In fact, that's a little off. You know what I'm saying? So you'll see little things. It's not hard, man. It's not hard. It's really not hard. I'm telling you. You know what I mean? A person shows you who they are. Like I said, we get. Women get penis massage, and dudes get coochie massage, and then we like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get with that, and she like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get with him, and oh girl, you see how he look, and blah blah blah. You see, he got that Gucci on, oh blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? But you seen that he was rolling up when you met him. He reeked like weed when you met him. What you think he into? How far you think this gonna go? But we ignore all the warning signs, and then we get mad when things happen. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, people show you who they are. You know what I mean? You just gotta know. Stop being coochie massage and penis massage, and really pay attention to the signs. And what M3 said was key, man. What you said was super key. You need to start listening to those who really care about you, who've been there and done that. Whether it's your parents, whether it's your OGs or your uncles or your aunties or whoever. You know what I mean? Listen to them. You know what I mean? Before, and I would do this all the time. I would talk to the older men of my family about a woman, and I would tell him her whole little spiel, and they'd be like, "Oh, yo, she said that, yo, man." I'm telling you, that means that she's doing that. And then when I go back and check, the whole time it would be that. It would be that the whole time. You know what I mean? Because they've been there and done that. You know what I mean? But a lot of times, what happens is these younger, 35 and unders, I call them, not all of them, but a lot of them, they don't want to listen to nobody. They think they know
Mhm.
everything. You know what I mean? And when you try to talk to them, you know what I mean? They want to curse you out over somebody they don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. So a lot of times, you just gotta let them learn the hard way, man. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? You gotta let them learn the hard way. You know, and that's really the bottom line to it, man. Like, look out for the signs and talk to somebody who knows, who's been there and done that, and you will avoid a lot of situations.
But one thing I want to ask is that, a lot of the women that don't do the background check, they end up in really bad situations, right? This is to avoid even going out on a horrible date, right? So doing a background check will prevent you from even going out a lot of the times. You know, background checks is really quick, is easy, it takes less than 5 minutes. I don't think that I think going to someone else and speaking to them about you is great. You should do that as well. But I think a lot of things could be avoided before you even go out if you have intentions of actually doing something with the people moving forward.
Well, listen, I'm not doing a background check on somebody. If I got to do a background check on you, that means I don't want to talk to you.
But
You talking
then
I'm not.
about an actual
you,
background check?
you don't
Yeah,
know a simple background check, because the thing is that you don't. I'm talking about people you don't know. You don't know this person, and if you're gonna go off your feelings, you could definitely be wrong. You may not feel like um I'm really good at sales, so I can maneuver with my words and convince most people. So you're gonna have a really good feeling about me, but I could be definitely lying to you.
yeah,
So
but listen, you could do a background check on somebody, but it's still no safe and secure way to mean that this is going to work out. At the end of the day, the best thing to do, really take your time, have those conversations with that person, and really see what they really about. Because they may check out clean, they may not have no criminal history or nothing. They could still be like the one of the worst people in the world. You know what I'm saying? You never know. The best thing to do, like I said, is to have those conversations with them, study their character, and get advice. You know what I mean? It's always worked out for me. I've never had a problem. Every time I've done that, it's always worked out. Like it's fail proof. Like every time I've done it, because sometimes, like I said, you're so mesmerized by this person, or you so like their personality, you ain't really you ignoring everything else. But then that person who knows you and know them, like, man, nah, that ain't gonna work out, homie. You know what I'm saying? Or nah, that's what they're gonna be. Or nah, don't you have to do this? Or aren't you about that? They're not about that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, so it's good to have those people that can do those things beyond. a background check to really check that character. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's going to really be the main thing.
Yeah, let me say this right because I didn't know you meant like a serious like background check, but just to kind of like clarify and kind of give you my personal experience when it comes to relationships, like realistically, you know, even if a woman is into you, she's not gonna like provide like a background check, like as far as credit history and all that, until like maybe you guys get into like a really super serious type of level, and then like probably pursue some marriage, and you probably will want to know, well, those type of things. But as far as like character wise, you would never know like the whole truth just by doing a background check.
Yep.
As a person who used to be like a landlord, and own property, like there's there was plenty of tenants that I did background checks and they all came out positive. But as soon as they move in, it's a totally different story. And the reason why those background checks are not 100% accurate is because, from maybe their previous landlord, they probably have some problems and they had to settle. And when you settle in agreement, uh privately, you're not really supposed to disclose. You have to agree not to
Mm-hmm.
disclose the negative sides of what the tenant did. The tenant
Mm-hmm.
could probably like allegedly bust like the windows or your, out your car, did property damage and all these things, but they'll never disclose that because, especially like I don't know, how it's out there, but in California, these people they have so much rights, they're gonna protect them alive from at all costs, and then you get screwed over by the time that you bring them in. So if you transfer that into like the relationships, you could do a background check if the woman is willing, but a more, I would say, truer type of check. Hey, you know how jobs be giving out the 90-day probation. The same thing. A woman will give you the 90-day rule. Hey, like
Hmm.
no sex. Until the 90 days. She pretty much put you on your probation period.
Hmm.
That's the same thing that you have to put on some of these women. Like,
Ooh,
look,
talk about it.
before I can even go further, than what I'm capable of to giving you the best, or doing a relationship commitment. 90 days. you know, let's see if you could be on your good behavior on 90 days. Some women will probably play it off to the best that they can.
Mm-hmm.
But by then, you already will pick up little sudden sounds. I'm sorry, it's not sounds, but certain things about that woman's characteristics that
Mm-hmm.
could be a red flag, you know what I mean? Like a no-go, a yellow flag where it's like, okay, well, let me dab into this and proceed with caution. Or you might just give her a green light and she'd be like, you know what? This is probably like a good woman, you know? I think it's time for me to commit to her.
But
Mm.
M3, let me ask you, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
well, with the background check, it's a soft background check, so you're not really looking for credit. You're just looking for felonies and shit like that, right? They've ever been arrested. How would a woman before the first date? How would she know he's a pedophile?
Well, here's the thing, right? Now, this is in California. I can't tell you about your own state, right? In New York, but unfortunately, in California, they're not even allowed to disclose that anymore.
Well, I mean, like, but how would you know though if you don't do a background check on them? How would you know? We're talking about for a woman that wants to go out and
Here.
not waste time, right? I mean, you can get to
Mm-hmm.
know someone for 90 days, but people don't find that shit out until like 6 months, a year, maybe if it come up with conversation, if they have some legal issues. So how would a woman know that a man has a criminal background without doing a background check?
To be
See, that's
honest,
that's
oh
that's the
god.
point I'm trying. Well, see, that's the point I'm trying to tell you, because I know you're saying that the background checks would probably help, but what I'm saying is like unfortunately, where I'm from, that stuff is insufficient. Like they don't even disclose like the criminal history anymore in these background checks, nor like if you were like a pedo or not, and that's just like for and that's not even like the other things that I'm talking about. Just even like the
Mm.
the things that causes like the red flags, they don't even try to disclose it. I don't know why they did that. California's just dumb, by the way, but um, I mean, you could go for it, But just know that realistically, hey, you probably will save your time and headache from a lot of women who are not willing to give out that type of personal information.
No, all you need is the first and last name, and you can zone it down from there. I mean, it's public. It's public. You don't need their permission. I'm not saying do a deep dive background check,
Mm-hmm.
but I think just a basic, clean background check. Does this person have DWIs? I think that women
Yeah.
need to protect themselves a
Anything
little
what she
more
said?
further. From, guys got game. I know. When I was out there, women could, if they could talk to their auntie, they could talk to their grandfather. You know, I run game on them too. They couldn't. They had to get the game, man.
Yeah, okay.
Well, that's why you got that's why they got to be taught the game, and they got to be taught what to look
Mm-hmm.
out for. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end
Right,
of the day,
right.
even if that person is doing different things, you know what I'm saying? To me, honestly, you're never gonna know a person until you really live with them. But that's just me. You know what I'm saying? That's my perspective. Like you're not gonna know what this woman is about or this man is about until you live with them. You know what I'm saying? And then once you live with them, that really kind of shows who they really are, honestly. But that's just my
Right.
perspective.
Okay, so real quick, we are at the, or we're a little bit above the 1 hour mark. So, um, anybody, feel free, right, to join the live stream if you want to ask AR, any questions, but make sure they're respectful questions. And we'll also put the rules up there too.
I take
So,
disrespectful question, but people just gotta acknowledge that, man. I can be feisty, man. You know.
okay, however he's open to, right, but just know, right, still try to be respectful as you can. Don't try to like mention anyone's like names in subliminal type of manner. Or just outright disrespect someone that's not, especially not in the live stream. So
Don't
do
talk
that
about
with
my wife,
educated
man. You
trust.
see what Will Smith did, right?
He's gonna slap you out of the live stream. So I'm just saying. Now y'all know the rules. But look, feel free to come up, everybody. Right. So anyone, please come up. And AR, right, I'm gonna ask you the final question that we came up with. Number 6 is this one thing or several things that you would like to know about women? Or maybe if you walk up to a woman and just be like, hey, I have a question that I want to ask you. What will be the thing that will come to your mind?
About women.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I think if the question I will ask, I don't think they know the answer to. That's why they do it. I
Well,
don't
what
think
will be
they
the
know
question?
either. I guess why you letting these little bastards run around disturbing me, man? I think that's why you don't contain your bastards.
Oh man.
I think that will be one of the definite questions I will definitely ask. Why you allow these little bastards to run around? Treating every day like it's Halloween. It's supposed to be trick or treat, not just the trick. It's probably what the questions I will definitely ask, man. It
Well,
would definitely have
women
to be the
in the
mating. I think the mating process, like why, um,
yeah.
if you could do it all, what would you do differently choosing that wrong partner, right? So if you have a bad
Mm.
partner, if you could do it over, what would you do differently to make sure you don't select that same person? I mean, it's probably the question I would ask.
Okay. Well, ladies, if you are in the chat, feel free to come up and maybe could, answer that question for AR.
They'll probably
You
say
know,
something like, "I would like some sage," or "Speak to my ancestors," or "Love language." I will read the love language book. It's like that's why y'all be getting ran through, man.
oh, damn. Okay. Let me go ahead and let me pin this real quick. So, all right, I'm gonna give the ladies some time, or anybody else some time. So, people, feel free to join in. You know, if not, we will wrap it up in a few minutes. So, I'm just letting y'all know. So, I'm gonna give y'all like at least a good. Matter of fact, let me put the timer up. I'm gonna give y'all at least. I'm gonna give y'all 5 minutes. Oh, where can I put that? There we go. Give y'all, lovely ladies, 5 minutes on the clock, right?
Wow.
Let me
One
see.
thing I want to know, bro, how do you get the timer like that? Because like on Canva, if I do the timer, they want to make it like really big. Is there certain measurements you use?
Yeah, so like I just try to cut things down to size until like I get the right measurements to it, and then once I get the right measurements, I gotta make sure it's not over 3 megabits. What's it called? 3 megabits of is it data? Is it oh no
Something like that, right?
something
Oh
like that.
wow.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, yeah. So
yeah.
yeah, because
Because
the
it's not
ones I
even
have
big.
is like a
Yeah.
big box, right? And you sent me
Hmm.
one was perfect, but it was 1 minute. Do you have one that's like 3 minutes? Like just like
Yeah.
that? You do?
Oh,
All right,
yeah,
cool,
yeah. So,
cool.
so yeah, so like they're not the same like the one that you see to the top right. They're like in different styles. So
No,
unfortunately,
no, the style
um,
is fine, but just as small
mhm.
as possible, not like really big, like a square, right?
Yeah. So I got this one right
Oh,
here.
cool. Yeah.
That's
So
the
if you
that's the
have
3 minute
that,
one, the 2 minute one. Of course, my
the one
famous
minute,
1 minute timer.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. So you can email that to me when you can, not now, but whenever you can. I'll
Yeah,
shoot you
yeah,
my
yeah.
email. Okay, cool, cool.
Yeah, yeah. I got you though. Let me see. All right. Let's see. She must make the necessary changes, move differently, and ask the proper questions initially. Don't come off as a victim either. Okay. Oh, she also says one must be self-aware and know they have been picking poorly. Okay, okay. Well, there we have it. Okay. Look, I guess nobody else doesn't want to come up. But that's fine though, because within less than an hour, we're going to have our double feature. So, the first topic is going to be a little bit sad. And then we're going to get to the Will Smith topic. Because, hey, I know that's what y'all been waiting for anyway. So we're going to be gladly to give it to you. But, we gotta have like a balance. Some streams going to be serious. And then other streams is going to be just super hilarious. But in the meantime, if y'all still here and y'all haven't liked, please get the likes up and subscribe. And remember, at 7 o'clock p.m. Pacific time, which would be, I think, less than, I think it would be 40 minutes from now. Yeah, we're gonna have like our double live stream. So, well, sorry, our double feature. So you're gonna get the 2-for-1 special. All right. Look, I'm gonna just go ahead and just turn the time off because I don't think nobody's coming up. But look, AR, it was definitely fun having this interview with you.
Yeah, I
And
appreciate it, man.
I don't know. Let me see. I do have one question, but hold on. Let me hide this real quick. One question I am curious, and you could also plead the fifth on this one,
Hmm.
or just say none of your fucking bastard business. But, okay. One thing I like about your live stream is that it's very diverse. You have a lot of men, you have a lot of women on the panel, and
Hmm.
every person, from the naked eye. We see like professionalism, like when it comes to these controversial topics. And so my question is that how do you find all these people, to come into your panel?
I think it takes time for people to communicate with a lot of people at once, and I think what it is, I don't really expect them to join until maybe like 3 weeks after I first spoke to him. Like it takes 21 days for someone that's someone that's kind of like on the iffy side to say
Mm,
yes. So it's a numbers game definitely, but so if I speak to 10 people today, I don't expect them to join until next month.
right.
I don't expect them. I just want them to subscribe. Probably, I try to keep them in tune. Maybe I invite them to my Facebook group, but I don't
Mm,
expect them. And I put everyone on my calendar to rebug them again. It depends on who it is. If I look
mhm,
at someone's profile and I think they would add good value to the chat, then I'm gonna put more effort to have that particular person on. Or what's the incentive? Hey, you want me to promote your
mhm.
channel? When you come on, I can't pay you, but I'll promote your channel. I'll promote your product but come on, and pretty much about it. I definitely speak to, I try to communicate with at least 10 people a day, and I don't expect I don't expect anyone to join until 21 days later, or maybe a month later. So
Okay, so 10 randoms a day then.
10 randoms a day, man. But these are people I'm actually checking out their profile. It's exhausting because I have to, look at their videos. Gotta make sure they're good fit. Make sure they're not gonna come on there and try to, Will Smith the other ladies.
Right. You're like, okay, you look down and DM's like, okay, okay, she's fine. Okay, she qualifies. Okay,
And I try to find women that are not provocative, that don't dress a certain way, at least not too extreme, because I think they're gonna bring a different energy. And plus, too, some of the stuff we talk about, it's important. Like the last stream I had, sometimes you can't screen everybody. Some people are really offensive. Like we had Menzie on there, and we had another lady on there, and Menzie's very religious, right? Christian. And I think the lady was talking about the spirits and stuff. So Menzie's like, no. And Menzie gonna speak the truth. Menzie don't care, Menzie gonna say the truth, whatever, she's gonna say what she knows. And
that's real talk with Mimsy.
So yeah, real talk with Menzie. But at the same time, if you want to have people in your show, you don't want people to feel like they're being personally attacked. But the issue with the woman, they bring up their personal issues to the platform and they get upset when people judge them. And a lot of things that women say is it's like, no wonder why you don't have the right person,
And I guess that probably
you was there on the few panel, so I mean,
well, I mean, hey, we have this similar amount of experience with AR, so but just for entertainment purposes, I always got to ask these questions because they want to know. They all want to know. And yes, women do tend to bring up their personal issues, and sometimes we bring it back and we be like, "Shut the fuck up."
I even speak to a lot of ladies beforehand, and I tell them, let's talk in general. Don't speak about now. I speak about my personal situation, so people can know I'm not trying to come from. I'm a perfect person. Even some of the talking point I talk about is not perfect. It may even be wrong, but guess what? That's what I lived. So, it's not that I'm trying to live a perfect life. It's just that look what I came from, and that's part of the reason why I'm so extreme now and why I live a certain way. Is because what I was doing. I can't be married and live that type of life outside and doing, whatever else I was doing in violence and so forth like that,
Okay.
But I think it's like what Mr. Best said. You gotta listen to the people that are older than you. Find some grandparent. Go to a nursing home. If you don't have the people in your life, go to a nursing home and talk to the ones that still got their mind together. Get some dating advice from them.
Wherever it takes, man, to get your mind right. So, All right. Well, cool, AR, man. I appreciate everything, man, that you said, man, and
appreciate you having me on, man.
Hey, man, I was waiting for that day, man, to return the favor. So
yeah, man, I appreciate it.
Yeah, Mr. Best, you have any closing comments?
Hold on, Sammy. Hold on.
All right, no problem. Okay.
Hold on, y'all.
No problem.
Yeah, man. Thanks for jumping on, AR, man. We appreciate you, man. Thanks for showing us love. Thanks for definitely being a part of our experience, man. And we're grateful to be a part of your experience as well. We truly appreciate everything you bring to the table as a content creator. Thank you for for giving us a different perspective about life, and I think that's what being a content creator is truly about. It's about having different perspectives, and it's also about being willing to hear different perspectives and having a conversation. And I think that's really key to what we all are trying to do. But yeah, man, we truly appreciate you. Everybody, please like and subscribe to YouTube Conversations, to Womenosphere versus Manosphere. You know what I mean? Show definitely hit that like bell, man. Hit that hit that notification. You know what I mean? Show him some love. You know what I mean? And definitely, man, let him know that that he is appreciated within the YouTube space and in the YouTube community. But yeah, M3, take it away, bro.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it, Mr. Best.
Most definitely.
Anytime. Well, everyone, Thank you for tuning in to Knowledge and Relationships Live Talk. It was definitely a pleasure having each and every one of the people to come in the chat to support us and to also support brother AR from the Womenosphere versus the Manosphere. And also shout outs to Mr. Best in the World, for man, the wonderful work he be doing as well. Shouts to First Lady Tammy, DJ Eddie King, and then Queen Dom as well. And shouts to all of our suitable helpers that comes into the live streams and give us some more support. And then with that being said, everyone, make sure that you tune in, right? In less than 30 minutes, tune in, okay, for our double feature once again, okay? Make sure that you guys and ladies get your minds right. And with that being said, we are out, everyone. Peace.
Later.
The DJ.